Flow is being completely involved in an activity for its own sake. The ego falls away. Time flies. Every action, movement, and thought follows inevitably from the previous one, like playing jazz. The best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limited involuntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. The happiest people spend much time in a state of flow, the state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience itself is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. The self expands through acts of self-forgetfulness. A joyful life is an individual creation that cannot be copied from a recipe. We shape our life by deciding to pay attention to it. It is the direction of our attention and its intensity that will determine what we accomplish and how well. If you are interested in something, you will focus on it, and if you focus attention on anything, it is likely that you will become interested in it. Many of the things we find interesting are not so by nature, but because we took the trouble of paying attention to them. Even without success, creative persons find joy in a job well done. Learning for its own sake is rewarding. Try to be inspired by something every day. Try to inspire at least one person every day. To be successful, you have to enjoy doing your best while at the same time contributing to something beyond yourself. Flow is the process of achieving happiness through control over one's inner life. The optimal state of inner experience is order in consciousness. This happens when we focus our attention, psychic energy, on realistic goals and when our skills match the challenges we face. Find out what you like and what you hate about life. Start doing more of what you love, less of what you hate. If you do anything well, it becomes enjoyable. To keep enjoying something, you need to increase its complexity. Creativity is a central source of meaning in our lives. Most of the things that are interesting, important, and human are the results of creativity. When we are involved in it, we feel that we are living more fully than during the rest of life. To overcome the anxieties and depressions of contemporary life, individuals must become independent of the social environment to the degree that they no longer respond exclusively in terms of its rewards and punishments. To achieve such autonomy, a person has to learn to provide rewards to herself. She has to develop the ability to find enjoyment and purpose regardless of external circumstances. Goals transform a random walk into a chase. Creative individuals tend to be smart, yet also naive at the same time. Creative individuals have a combination of playfulness and discipline, or responsibility and irresponsibility. How we feel about ourselves, the joy we get from living, ultimately depends directly on how the mind filters and interprets everyday experiences. Whether we are happy depends on inner harmony. Not on the controls we are able to exert over the great forces of the universe. Contrary to what most of us believe, happiness does not simply happen to us. It's something that we make happen, and it results from doing our best. Feeling fulfilled when we live up to our potentialities is what motivates differentiation and leads to evolution. If you're alone with nothing to do, the quality of your experience really plummets. When people restrain themselves out of fear, their lives are by necessity diminished. They become rigid and defensive, and their self stops growing. It is how we choose what we do, and how we approach it, that will determine whether the sum of our days adds up to a formless blur, or to something resembling a work of art. Those periods of struggling to overcome challenges are what people find to be the most enjoyable times. Write down each day what surprised you and how you surprised others. When something strikes a spark of interest, follow it. Unless a person knows how to give order to her thoughts, attention will be attracted to whatever is most problematic at the moment. But it is impossible to enjoy a tennis game, a book, or a conversation unless attention is fully concentrated on the activity. Happiness does not simply happen to us. It's something that we make happen. Control of consciousness determines the quality of life. Knowing oneself is not so much a question of discovering what is present in oneself, but rather the creation of who one wants to be. Happiness is not something that happens, it does not depend on outside events, but, rather, on how we interpret them. It is not the hearing that improves life, but the listening.